Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Canvases. So this is the third part of the lecture series where I am going to discuss about the nomenclature of different types of organic compounds. So in this lecture I am going to describe how you can do the nomenclature of different types of alkenes as well as alkyne compounds. Now as you can see, this is the simplest alkene, that is named as ethylene. Here you can see that this ethylene is basically a common name, and the IUPAC nomenclature of this simple alkene is ethene. Next alkene what you are seeing is named as propylene. This is also a common name, and the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound is propene. And the third one that you are seeing, its common name is isobutylene, and the IUPAC nomenclature is 2-methyl-1-propene. Now one thing that I am again repeating, that those nomenclature, that is the general nomenclature, that is ethylene, propylene, they arises because the IUPAC nomenclature has been established in 19th century, but these compounds are known much before to the scientist or to the people. So that's why these compounds are already known by this common name, and these names are so much famous or familiar to the people that people also prefer to use these nomenclature along with the IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so that's why these nomenclatures are much more famous at that time, and these nomenclatures carry forwarded even today also we are using this nomenclature along with the IUPAC nomenclature. Now I am going to describe how we can do the nomenclature of these types of alkenes. Now one thing I just want to say to everyone, that if you haven't follow or if you haven't go through my first part and the second part of the lecture series, then it will be much difficult for you to grasp all those things that I am going to tell. So to understand or to get a very good or deep knowledge or thorough knowledge about the nomenclature of different types of organic compounds, please follow all the three lectures, and I am quite sure that after following all the three lectures you will be much more able to do these types of nomenclature, so you can be a master of these types of nomenclature of different types of organic molecules. And this chapter will going to help you so much in all the to understand all the or in all the chapters that you will encounter in organic chemistry. Now let's start how the following the rules. So as I have told you that the IUPAC committee has actually fixed some rules, and based on those rules this nomenclature actually has been done. So first rule is that you have to identify the parent chain. Okay, so the one and utmost criteria to identify the parent chain is that the parent chain should contain the double bond or the carbon atom that is associated with this double bond. As an example, you can see that this is one compound. Now you can see that this can be also a parent chain because it contains three carbon atom. Okay, but you can see that in this if we consider this as the parent chain, then this parent chain contain only one carbon that is associated with the double bond. Okay, but instead of that, if we consider this one as our parent chain or this one as our parent chain, then we are able to include both the carbon atom which are associated with the double bond. So that's why it is the most or utmost criteria to identify the parent chain is that the parent chain should contain all those carbon atom that is associated with the double bond. Okay, so this is the first criteria. Now the second criteria is we have to do the numbering of these types of parent chain. So how we can do the numbering? So according to the rule number 2, the numbering should start in such a way that the carbon atom which are associated with the double bond should be numbered as low as possible. Okay, now you can see here that if we number like this 1, 2, 3, then the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond are numbered as 2 and number 3. On the other hand, if we number like this 1, 2, 3, then the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond are numbered like 1 and 2. So this numbering, that is anti-clockwise, this numbering give us the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond lowest possible number. So that's why this is the correct way of numbering the carbon atom of the parent chain. Okay, so the second criteria is, so the second rule says that while you are doing the numbering of the carbon atom of the parent chain, you should number the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond as low as possible. Okay, now you can see that this carbon atom this parent chain contain total 3 carbon atom. Okay, so first of all, if there is any substituents, then you have to write it as a prefix. So here you can see that methyl is the substituents. So and the position of the methyl is 2-methyl. So first of all, you have to write down the position of the substituents and the name of the substituents. Then again you have to write the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, that is 1. That is the lowest number you have to choose. In between 1 and 2, you should choose the lowest number 2. Okay, so 2-methyl 1, and then as this primary chain or the parent chain contain 3 carbon atom, so you will write prop, and as it contains double bond, so instead of writing propane, you should replace this A with an E. So it will be propene. Understand? So first you will write the position of the substituents 2-methyl. Then you should write the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond. But mind you that you have to write the lowest possible position. You should not write 2. You always write the terminal carbon atom of these 2 carbon atoms. So if these are the 2 carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, you always have to write down the position of the terminal carbon atom, that is 1. So 2-methyl 1 and then propene. Okay, so this is the way you can do the nomenclature of these types of alkene. Again, here I am giving you one example of how to do the nomenclature of this compound. So you can see that the numbering should be like this: 1, 2, 3. So the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond should get numbered as low as possible. Okay, now you can see that there are basically 3 carbon atoms, so propene. Now you instead of propene, you can also write 1 propene. That is up to you. Okay, so this is the way. And let's take another example. This is one of the compound, or the structure of the compound. Now you can see that this is the correct way of numbering the carbon atoms of the parent chain. So the position of the carbon atom, that is the terminal carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, is 1, and as it contains total 4 number of carbon atoms, so butene. So you can see. Okay, next example of this compound. So you can see that here the total number of carbon atom is 6, and the lowest possible position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond is 2 and 3. So here you have to write the lowest number, that is 2, and as it contains total 6 carbon atom, so it will be hexene. So 2-hexene, that is the correct way of numbering. Now suppose that there is some substituents in the alkene. So in that situation, what you have to how you can do the nomenclature. So first of all, you have to identify the parent chain. So you can see this is the parent chain. So according to the rule number 1, that I have told you that the parent chain should always contain the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond. So that is one of the utmost criteria, that the parent chain should contain the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond. Now we have numbered the carbon atom of the parent chain like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see that at number 2 position there is methyl substituents. Okay, so first of all you have to write as a prefix the position of the substituents and the name of the substituents, that is 2-methyl. Now you have to write the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, it is 2, and then as the parent chain contain total 4 number of carbon atoms, so it will be butene. So 2-methyl 2-butene. Now let's take this complicated example. This is a bit complicated than this. Again you have to, at first you have to choose the parent chain. So this is the parent chain. Okay, this is the parent chain which contain total 6 number of carbon atoms. Now you can see that there are basically 2 substituents. At the 2 position there is methyl substituents, and again at the 5 position there is another methyl substituent. So if same substituents present in a parent chain 2 or 3 more times, we will use the prefix like di or tri, here as these methyl substituents are present 2 times. So at first we will write down the position of the substituents. The first substituents has the position 2 and the second substituents has the position 5. So 2, 5, then we will write the prefix di, as total 2 number of substituents are present. Di, then the name of the substituents 2,5 dimethyl, then the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, so 2, and as this compound parent chain contain total 6 number of carbon atoms, so hexene. Okay, again now take the example of this compound. Here you can see that we have numbered the carbon atom of the parent chain like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now as you can see that there are basically 2 substituents, both are methyl substituents which is attached with the same carbon atom, and the position of the carbon atom is 5. So 5, 5, you have to pronounce this number twice because there are 2 substituents, so 5, 5, then di, because 2 methyl substituents are present, 5, 5 dimethyl, then the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond 2, and the total number of carbon atom that is present in the parent chain, that is 6, so 2-hexene. Okay, and this is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound, that is 1-chloro-2-butene. Because you can see that we can do the nomenclature from numbering from this way or from this way. You can see instead of this we can also do the numbering like this, you can ask, but we are not doing the numbering like this, because if you do the numbering like this, then the carbon atom that is attached with the chlorine substituents will get the number 4. But according to the IUPAC rule, we should number the carbon atom that is attached with any halide group or any substituents as low as possible. So if you do the nomenclature in the anti-clock in the left, from right to left direction, this direction, then this carbon atom that is bearing the chlorine atom will get the minimum number, that is 1. So 1-chloro, then 2, because 2 is the position of the carbon atom that is associated with the double bond, 2-butene, because it contains total 4 carbon atom. Okay, now I am going to explain how you can do the nomenclature of different types of cycloalkene. So if you go through the second part of my lecture, I will give you the description of the link of this lecture in this side. So where I have discussed how you can do the nomenclature of different types of cycloalkane. Here I am talking about the nomenclature of different types of cycloalkene. So some basic rules that are followed in that chapter, that is the nomenclature of different types of cycloalkane, will also be applicable here also. Now the first thing that you have to do while you have to do the nomenclature of cycloalkene is to number the 2 carbon atom that is associated with the double bond as 1 and 2. So this types of nomenclature that I am describing is for those types of cycloalkene that contain only one carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so first of all, you have to number the two carbon atom that is associated with the double bond as 1 and 2. Now you can ask me that why I choose the numbering in the clockwise direction, why not in the anti-clockwise direction like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why not I have chosen this nomenclature? The reason is that if you choose the nomenclature in the anti-clockwise direction, then the carbon atom that is bearing the methyl substituents would be numbered 2. On the other hand, if you choose the numbering in the clockwise direction, then the carbon atom that is bearing the methyl group will be numbered as 1. So according to the IUPAC rule, the next thing that you have to focus is the numbering of the carbon atom that is associated with the any substituents. So that carbon atom should be numbered as low as possible. So which is only possible if you choose to numbered in the clockwise direction. Okay. So first of all, you have to write down the position of the substituents, that is 1, then the name of the substituents, that is methyl, then you have to add the prefix, that is cyclo, because it is a cycloalkene. Then this cycloalkene contain total 5 number of carbon atoms, so pentene. Okay. Now you can see this is another example where it is a basically 6-membered ring, and we have chosen the numbering of the carbon atom like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, if you choose the numbering in this direction, in the anti-clockwise in this direction, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, again this two carbon atom that is bearing the substituents will get very high number, that is 4 and 6. So instead of that, we have choose this types of numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now at 3 and 5 position, two methyl substituents are present, so 3,5 dimethyl, then the word prefix cyclo, and as this is a 6-membered ring, so it will be hexene. Okay. Now, suppose that in an alkene we contain another functional group, that is hydroxyl group, or we can also call it as an alcoholic group. Okay, or sometimes we also call this called alkenol, alkenol, because it is a combination of alkene plus alcohol, because this hydroxyl group is nothing but the alcoholic group. So these types of compounds that contain both the double bond as well as hydroxyl group are called alkenol. On the other hand, if it is a cyclic compound like this, it will be cycloalkenol. Okay, so in that case, what will be the way to do the nomenclature? So in that case, while you should do the numbering in such a way that the carbon atom that is bearing this hydroxyl group should be numbered as low as possible. So in my previous example where there are so many substituents are there, in that case, while while numbering the carbon atom, you have to choose the numbering in such a way that the carbon atom that is bearing the double bond should numbered as low as possible. But in case where there is any hydroxyl group present, then the rule will be little bit modified. In that case, you have to give utmost importance to this hydroxyl group, and you have to choose, or you have to number the carbon atom that is associated with this hydroxyl group as low as possible. So that's why we have numbered like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can see at 4 position there is methyl substituents, which should be written at first. So 4 methyl. Then as this is a parent chain content total 5 carbon atoms, so pent. Now you can see at number 3 position there is double bond. Okay, so pent, then 3, then in. Okay, at number 3 position there is double bond, so pent, 3 in, then 2 all, because at number 2 position there is hydroxyl group, so 4 methyl pent, 3 in, 2 all. Okay, now take the example of this compound. You can see that again you have to number in such a way that this carbon atom that is bearing the hydroxyl group should be numbered as low as possible. So the numbering will be like this: 1 2 3. So at 2 position there is methyl substituent, so 2 methyl, then the prefix cyclo, then as it is a 6-membered ring, so cyclohex. Then at 2 position there is a double bond, so cyclohex 2 in. Then at 1 position there is hydroxyl group, so 1 all. Or you can also write like this: 2 methyl, then you can put this 2 before the cyclo word, so 2 methyl cyclohexene 1 all. So both way you can do the nomenclature. So here I should it is very important to know two frequently used alkenyl group. So what is alkenyl group? So previously we called this alkyl group, like this is called ethyl, this is called propyl. So these are called alkyl group. Okay. Now here you can see that instead of that, in case of alkyl group there is no carbon-carbon double bond, but if there is any carbon-carbon double bond is present, then instead of writing it as alkyl, we will write it as alkenyl. Okay, so you can see there are two very frequently used alkenyl group, that is, one is vinyl and another is allyl. Okay, so you can see that in vinyl there are two carbon-carbon, total 2 carbon atoms are there in case of vinyl. Okay, and in case of allyl there are total 3 carbon atoms are there. So this is vinyl and this is allyl. So these are very frequently used alkenyl group, and it is better that you should remember this thing. Okay, now the IUPAC nomenclature of the vinyl group is ethenyl, because there are 2 carbon atoms, so ethene, so ethenyl. Similarly the IUPAC nomenclature of allyl, that is prop 2 in 1 aisle, because you can see that at 2 position there is a carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so prop 2 in 1 aisle, that is the UPSC nomenclature of the allyl group. But it is instead of using this IUPAC nomenclature, you can also use this common nomenclature, that is vinyl or allyl. Okay, so here I am giving you one example. You can see that this is basically, you can see this is basically vinyl group, so you can write it as vinyl bromide. Okay, or you can also write like bromoethene, because it is an ethenyl group, so you can also write bromoethene. Okay, similarly you can see this one is also a vinyl group, so you can write as vinyl cyclopentane, because it is a 3-membered ring, so that's why vinyl cyclopentane. Or as it is a ethenyl group, so you can write it as ethenyl cyclopentane. So both you can use. Similarly you can see that this group is allyl group, so you can write it as allyl chloride, or you can write it as 3-chloropropene. Okay, because here you can see that this is the numbering of the carbon atom, where you have to number the carbon atom that is bearing the carbon-carbon double bond as low number as possible. So it will be 3-chloro 1 propene, or simply propene. Similarly this group, you can see this group is called the allyl group. So you can do the nomenclature like 3 allyl, because at number 3 position the allyl group is there, because you have to number the carbon atom that is attached with the hydroxyl group as low as possible. So the numbering will be like this: 1 2 3. So 3 allyl, then 1 cyclohexanol, because the position of this hydroxyl group is 1, so cyclohexanol. Or you can write the IUPAC nomenclature, you can use the IUPAC nomenclature of this allyl group, that is 3 prop 2 in 1 aisle cyclohexanol. So both way you can do the nomenclature, but it is, I will recommend to use this simple name like allyl or vinyl. This make our life lot more easy. Okay. Now suppose if there are Now suppose if there are two identical substituents group that are present in any alkene compound, then what is the way of nomenclature of these types of compounds? So you can see that with this carbon atom, chlorine atom is attached, and with this carbon atom also chlorine atom is attached. Okay, so in that case you have to see the position of the two chlorine atom. So if these two chlorine atom are residing at the same side of this carbon carbon double bond, then you have to add this prefix cis. So cis means that these two chlorine atoms are aligning or residing at the same side of the carbon carbon double bond. Okay, so cis then 1,2 dichloroethene, because the this position of these two carbon atom are 1 2, these are attached with the chlorine atom. So 1,2 dichloroethene, and if these two chlorine atoms are at the same side, then you have to add the prefix cis. Again, if these two chlorine atom are opposite to each other, so you can see that this chlorine atom is at this side and this chlorine atom at this side. So if there are opposite two sides of this carbon carbon double bond, then you have to use this prefix trans. So trans 1,2 dichloroethene. Okay. Now here I am giving you another example of nomenclature of cycloalkene. You can see that I have numbered this carbon atom as 1 because it is attached with the hydroxyl group. So 1. Then again I have numbered this carbon atom as 2 because this carbon atom is associated with the carbon carbon double bond. So 1 2 3 4 5, and with 3 this carbon atom vinyl group is attached. So 3 vinyl, this is the substituents. So 3 vinyl, then cyclopentene, because it is a 5 membered ring, so cyclopent 2 in, okay, the position of the carbon carbon double bond, cyclopent 2 in 1 all. Okay, so here I have also solved some of the problems, so you can go through this, and if you do have any problem to understand why this nomenclature is this, then you can ask me through the comment section. So here are some more examples that I have done for you. Okay, so you can practice on your own, and you can also check the answer. So in this case I have actually at first draw the structure, then I have determined the IUPAC nomenclature of these structures, and in this slide I have done reverse. So I have at first write down the IUPAC nomenclature, and from this IUPAC nomenclature I have actually drawn its probable or its structure or its chemical formula. Okay, so you can go through all those things, and if you do have any questions regarding this, please ask. So friends, now I will discuss about the nomenclature of alkynes. Now in case of nomenclature of alkynes, most of the rules will remain same as like the nomenclature of alkenes. Here in case of alkynes, you know that there will be a carbon carbon triple bond, where in case of alkenes we have seen that the alkene compound contain carbon carbon double bond. Okay, so you can see that this is one of the simplest of alkyne, and its IUPAC nomenclature is ethine, and it is also known as acetylene. Okay, on the other hand, you can see that in this example, in case of ethine, as it contain total 2 carbon atom, so that's why this eth word will come. And you can see that in case of alkyne, the main or the major difference is that in case of alkene you have used "ene" as a suffix, and in case of alkyne you will use yne, that as an suffix. So you can see that eth, that is because it contains total 2 carbon atom, eth plus yne, that is called ethine. Okay, so that is the major difference between the nomenclature of alkynes and alkene, where "ene" is replaced by YNE. Now, if you see the nomenclature of this compound, at first you have to number the carbon atom. So, like alkenes, the numbering will be in such a way that the carbon that is associated with the carbon-carbon triple bond should be numbered as low as possible. So that's why this is that's why we have adopted this numbering from right to left. So 1 2 3 4 5. So at 2 position, that is, there is a carbon-carbon triple bond is there, so 2, and as it contain total 5 carbon atoms, so pent, so plus wine, so 2 pentyne. Okay, now what happened if it contains both double bond and triple bond? So when you can see that when both double bond and triple bonds are present, the direction of numbering is chosen so as to give the lowest overall set of locants. Okay, now you can see that here, if we choose the numbering from right to left, we are getting 1, 2, 4, 5. So here you can see that the locants is 1 and 4. Where you can see that the carbon that is associated with carbon-carbon double bond has locants 1, and the carbon atom that is associated with carbon-carbon triple bond has the locant 4. Now, suppose that instead of choosing this way, we choose in that opposite way, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that case also the locants are same, 1 and 5. You can see that the carbon that is associated with carbon-carbon triple bond has the locants 1, and the carbon atom that is associated with carbon-carbon double bond has locant 4. Sorry, it will be 4. So in both the direction, if we choose from left to right or right to left, if we do the numbering, both way we can see that we are obtaining almost obtaining same locants. So in that case, what will be our preference? So if both are same in the face of equivalent option, here we are getting equivalent option, then preference is given to assigning lowest numbering to the double bond. So when there is a situation that both in the left to right way of numbering the carbon atom and right to left numbering the carbon atom, both way if we get the similar set of locants, in that case we have to give the preference to double bond. So that's why you can see that the numbering from right to left, that is written in the red color, is the right way of numbering the carbon atom according to the IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so that's why this is the correct way of numbering. You can see that as it contains total 5 carbon atoms, so that's why pent. Okay, and at one position there is a double bond, carbon-carbon double bond, so pent 1 in, and at 4 position there is carbon-carbon triple bond, so 4 wine. So pent 1 in, 4 wine. This is the correct IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, now let's take the example of this compound. You can see that this is the way we should number the carbon atom. So at 3 position there is a substituent chlorine, so 3 chloro 1, that is the position of the carbon-carbon position of the carbon-carbon triple bond. So 3 chloro 1 propyne, as it contains total 3 carbon atom. Similarly, this is another compound. You can see here we have numbered in this way 1 2 3 4. So at number 1 position, that is 1 chloro. So numbering in this way will also ensure that this chlorine substituents, that the carbon atom that is attached with the chlorine substituent should get lowest possible numbering. So that's why 1 chloro, and at 2 position there is carbon-carbon triple bond. So 1 chloro 2 butane, because it contains total 4 carbon atoms. So that's why this word but. Now you can see that in case of alkyne, where hydroxyl group is also present, so you can see that the hydroxyl group has priority over the triple bond. Similar thing also happened in case of alkene, that is called alkenol. While we are doing the nomenclature of alkenol also, we have to give the priority to hydroxyl group. And similarly in case of alkynol, it is also called alkynol because it is alkyne plus alcohol, so that's why it is this type of compounds are called alkynol. So similar type of nomenclature rule we have. So as it is called alkynol, so similar type of nomenclature rule we have to follow, just like alkenol, where we have to give the priority to the carbon atom that is attached with the hydroxyl group. So the numbering will be like this, and the nomenclature of this compound will be 3-butene, because at 3 position there is a carbon-carbon triple bond. So 3-butene, because total 4 carbon atoms are present. So 3-butene 1 all, because at one position this carbon is attached with the hydroxyl group. So the nomenclature of this compound is 3-butene 1 all. Okay. Now these are some of the other alkyne compounds, and I have solved these or I have solved the nomenclature of these alkyne compounds. I have followed the same rules that I have discussed in this slide. So if you follow those rules, you can be able to do the nomenclature of these alkynes at your own. So I have just given also the answer of this compounds, the nomenclature of this compound. So if you do have any problem to understand why the nomenclature is like this, you can ask me through the comment section. Okay. Now here I will talk a very small thing about the monosubstitute acetylenes or 1-alkynes. So these are also called terminal alkynes. You can see this is an example of a terminal alkynes, where you can see that the one carbon atom is being attached with hydrogen atom, and another carbon atom is attached with some alkyl group. So these types of compounds are called terminal alkynes because it contains one terminal hydrogen, and this hydrogen is also called acetylenic hydrogen atom. So if this hydrogen atom is being lost, then this group is called the ethynyl group. Okay, after losing this carbon atom, and the ion that is formed after losing this hydrogen atom is called alkynide ion or acetylenide ion. So it is very important to, why it is very important, because this types of hydrogen is very acidic in nature. I will discuss more about it in the acid base chapter, where when I will discuss about the acid base property of organic compounds. In that case, I will more emphasize on this acetylenic hydrogen atom. For the time being, you should know that this hydrogen is very acidic in nature, so they can be easily lost. So and will form these types of alkynide ion or acetylenide ion, where when the R group is being replaced by methyl, this methyl group, then it is called propionide ion because it contains total 3 carbon atom. Okay, so that's why it is called propionide ion. So that's it from the nomenclature chapter. I have divided this nomenclature portion in three part, and discussed in very detail about the nomenclature of different types of organic compounds. And I hope that you have learned many things in this lecture series. And if you do have any question, please ask me in the comment section. And thank you very much for your kind attention. And in the next lecture, I will discuss about the different types of Newman projection formula, how to draw the Newman projection, and all those things will be covered in the next lecture. And I will see you in the next lecture. And and thank you very much for watching this lecture. And if you do like my lecture, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chembasis. Thank you.